Family, good morning. What's going on? It is Kyle Anderson of Bama Football on YouTube Special Edition. We got a Sunday show coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I appreciate you guys being here. Give a roll tide inside the comment box today. We'll go over a couple scrimmage nuggets, what we learned from Saturday's scrimmage. We'll hear briefly from Coach Kalen DeBoer, kind of be a teaser to Monday morning show as we get closer and closer now, 20 days out before Alabama takes on Florida State, right? So we're getting closer. It's in sight. We have some really good updates regarding the quarterbacks. I think the dust is starting to settle at a position we've been so thirsty about, learning more about as we continue to climb into fall camp. All right, so I appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. I see that the names inside the comment box are a little bit rearranged. I don't know why. Let's consider that a curveball. Let's sit on it, and let's knock it out the park today for the show. Hopefully, remember, this happened again. It went away, and all was well. But I'll give some shout-outs this morning before we play brief Coach Kalen DeBoer, his opening statement and him talking about the quarterbacks, and then I'll go into my MVPs for the scrimmage and talk about some nuggets from yesterday's first scrimmage of fall camp. So I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for rolling with me right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Justin Summerland, man, what's up? Good to see you. Bama girl, always up in the house. Appreciate it. We got Patrick Spencer. These might be like your real names. Latoya, what's up? Good to see you up in here inside the comment box. We got Ron G72. We got Kalen DeBoer. We got Chris from New Jersey. Down South 334. What's up, man? Good to see you. Mindy Miss Careless up in the house. Jason Bailey, what's up? We got Poindexter today. Oh, that's what's up, man. Good to see you. And Justin Law saying, Todd, locking it down. All right, so yesterday, Coach Kalen DeBoer spoke to the media. We'll open up with his opening statement, opening comments from yesterday's scrimmage. This is Coach Kalen DeBoer, courtesy the University of Alabama.
For the guys, you know, I say it seems like every time, but I felt good about the back and forth. There's times the offense moved the ball, especially early up the field, and defense did a nice job anchoring down as the scrimmage went along. And we got into some situations at the end, some end of the game stuff that I think is really important. You know, things that we're able to do much more and be comfortable repping those things. Doesn't mean it's perfect, but that's why we practice, and got some end of the game situations in there at the end too. So. Just kind of last second stuff, 7 seconds and last play of the game type things. But really all the injuries that we have right now, we got Jaden Roberts still dinged up. He got in the middle of the week, just stuff we're dealing with and keep evaluating him. So don't expect it to be a long-term thing, but don't know his timeline necessarily. And then James Smith continues to come along, and I like the progress that he's showing. So he didn't scrimmage, neither one of those guys scrimmaged. But for the most part, we're in a good spot. I think a lot of what we went through in the spring has really helped us. I was hoping it was going to be a blessing in disguise, but you know, I think we're building some depth, and when you don't have a guy out there, you feel good, not just about that replacement or who's competing for those spots, but also you know, the guys that are, you know, now moving up the depth chart, maybe from a 3 to a 2 and so forth. So blessing in disguise, maybe, that we're building depth both the spring and the fall. Questions?
All right, that was Coach Kalen DeBoer yesterday after Alabama's first scrimmage. I appreciate you guys being here. If you guys are just checking in, this will kind of be a preview to Monday's show. We'll go briefly over Coach Kalen DeBoer. I'll just pipe in his first comments on the quarterbacks. That's coming up next. Kind of gives us an insight on the timeline with them officially naming a started quarterback. I think coming out of, you know, camp, you know, it's clearly been Ty is number one. And I think he's inching closer to that official title. But he had a really good yesterday. You know, during the scrimmage. So did Austin Mack. He talks about that coming up. We'll also go over the scrimmage MVPs and a couple nuggets that leaked out from yesterday's closed scrimmage. So I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for rocking with me today on this special show for Sunday. But here is Coach Kalen DeBoer talking about the quarterbacks. I guess before I go to that, the two things that made my ears perk up from his opening statement was the fact that you have two guys that were held out of yesterday's scrimmage, one being James Smith, who's a defensive lineman, and Jaden Roberts. Now, you know, I think the James Smith one, it seems like, you know, both of these injuries don't seem like they're going to be long-term. But it kind of is frustrating right now to hear something about Jaden Roberts because, my goodness, this guy is critical to the success of this team. And I know he's been kind of going with the twos, which was kind of weird early in fall camp. Like, you know, they don't put Caden Proctor with the twos, right? They don't put Parker Brailsford with the twos. Number one, like, why the hell is Jaden Roberts repping with the twos? You know, I get it. Like, you have Geno Vandermark and Cam Dewberry. That's kind of, you know, some rotational competition. But Jaden Roberts should not be ever with the twos. And to hear today that he didn't participate yesterday, that's concerning. And I think going forward, hopefully he's healed up. But Jaden Roberts is a crucial piece to this offensive line. I don't care how much talent that we have at quarterback or the wide receivers, who, by the way, balled out yesterday. Running backs, Jam Miller was extraordinary. Yo, we don't have this offensive line tightened up. That is cause for concern. So it doesn't seem like it's going to be anything long-term, but my goodness, the dude was hurt last year. Hopefully he heals up before the beginning of the season. Coming up next, Coach Kalen DeBoer addressing the media regarding a quarterback timeline for officially naming the starter. Also what he saw from the quarterbacks. A really good soundbite coming up from Coach Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah, we'll get out of the way. How'd the quarterbacks look?
I almost just went to it without even you asking, but I was like, listen. You know, the biggest thing with those guys, the quarterbacks, the question is, you know, they've done a great job, first of all, taking care of the football. No picks today and a few touchdown passes. I don't know the exact number, but a few touchdown passes between all three of them. And the completion percentage over the course of camp for all three has been in that, range that we want. Like to have a minimum of 65%. And they just did a good job being consistent. But they've taken care of the football. I think there's maybe 3 picks all camp. When you talk about 7-on-7 drills, team drills, I might be off 1, probably not off 2, but they've done a good job taking care of the football. And I think the first week just missed a few plays. The last practices, finding the ways to get explosives. I think, commanding the huddle. I think your 2 guys that have been around the offense the longest, Ty and Austin. When they get in a huddle and they got to rattle off a play, they're sharp and confident with it. Keelan's still learning those things, but he's doing a great job. The progress is something that you'd hope for, and he's right there. So, explosive opportunities, they got the ball there. They delivered the ball. And timing, I feel like very few times are we in a spot where we're not throwing on time, not confident with where we should deliver the ball. So from a timeline, because I know that's kind of what you want, I feel like we're getting closer. I would have said before camp, we definitely got to make a decision by the time we get done with the second scrimmage, and I would anticipate for sure that being the case. And we'll see kind of how the next few days go. But it's 2 good showings, I think, especially by Austin and Ty again today. And again, Keelan making the progress we'd hope for. You can see what his ceiling is going to be. It's just a matter of more reps.
So it sounds like, listening to Coach Kalen DeBoer talk about the quarterbacks, a couple takeaways. Number one, they've only thrown 3 interceptions during, live situational drills. There was 0 yesterday, and throughout fall camp when they've gone team, there's been 3, total interceptions. That's a low number. That is something that we want. We don't want turnovers from any of the quarterbacks. I think also he said that the timeline for officially naming the guy will come after the second scrimmage. It seems like the dust is starting to settle, and we kind of already know that Ty is that front runner and has been so even since springtime. It does sound like Austin Mack is the number 2 quarterback, okay? Don't let your feathers get ruffled by that. That's not a knock in any way, shape, or form on Keelan Russell. There's plenty of positives about Keelan Russell, and the coaches have said time and time again, they've talked about his playmaking ability. They've talked about the fact that he's right where he needs to be. This is a guy who just got here in the springtime. There's no need to rush any of this, okay? You wait for this guy to be ready, and the future is already on the wall. Keelan Russell is going to be the next generational quarterback for the University of Alabama. Will he be the starter against Florida State? No, okay? I'll just go ahead and tell you guys. Why would you start somebody who's never even started a game in college or played a game in college? Why would you start him on the road against Florida State? You'd let the process kind of take shape. And Alabama's actually despite not having a lot of experience at the position, they actually are in a good spot because Ty has been here. While he hasn't started, overwhelming amount of games or whatever, it's, he's been here and he knows the process and he has a damn good offensive coordinator. So these guys, in a really good position. All right, I'm going to go over some of the, kind of notes and nuggets that leaked out of fall camp next. I appreciate you guys rocking with us right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. Definitely drop a thumbs up inside the comment box. And as you know, we'll be back on Monday at 10 a.m. Central Time. Thanks to our sponsor out in West Memphis, Arkansas. I'm here in Arkansas where I-55 and I-40 hit. We appreciate you guys being our summer sponsor. Absolutely wonderful to us during the summertime. Remember, the raffle going over into this week is a jersey from Athletes Thread, $10 to get in. The way to get into the raffles, Bama_YouTube, Cash App, Bama YouTube. Actually, pretty good opportunity for you to get into this raffle. And if you win this particular raffle, I'll work with you to get the jersey that you want. So the retail price on this is $109. So if you want like a Bray Hubbard or a Jan Miller, Ty Simpson, crimson or white, you win the raffle, I'll get you the jersey that you want. So it's just the Ryan Williams is for the kind of the cover, but you message me when you win and I'll get you the jersey that you want. I think Patriot Life won the last one. He reps it well inside the comment box. So $10 to get in, Venmo_Bama YouTube. You can get 3 opportunities to get into this raffle. Venmo, Bama_YouTube, Cash App, Bama YouTube. The quarterback updates from yesterday's scrimmage. No interceptions, as Coach Kalen DeBoer just explained to us with all the quarterbacks, right? And you look at the completion percentage within camp, and it's kind of been right around that 65, 66%, which I think has been really good for the quarterbacks. I think Ty and Austin, those guys have been sharp, very confident in the huddle, and we continue to hear great things about Ty Simpson's progress. And I'm telling you, if you're out there and you're, don't get in between this quarterback battle and be against the quarterbacks. Be uplifting for any of the quarterbacks that are battling for the job. Clearly, Ty is the guy. Like, if I had to bet everything that I got on the starter for Florida State, I'm going with Ty Simpson 100%. And I think that he's going to have, and I'm hoping for one hell of a season from him, to be honest. Keelan's progress is coming along very quickly. The ceiling is sky high for him. So for those of you wanting Keelan Russell, it's coming. All right, we got to be patient. But I have heard that some of the plays that he has made, even in practice, are like, it's crazy. Just the plays that he had. I kind of go back to what Ryan Grubb said about him in the springtime, is that he has such a wide vision of the field, and he's just a playmaker. So sky high for Keelan Russell. The quarterback decision, it looks like it's going to be coming after that second scrimmage. I would imagine that so you'll have, let's look at the calendar, because I would imagine that they'd name that official quarterback by that Monday before Florida State. But it looks like following this next scrimmage, which I think will be Saturday as well, you'll have your starting quarterback, and maybe they announce it like that Monday or whatever, which is common. So it's coming. Let me ask you inside the comment box, for those of you watching right now, is there anyone else? Is there anyone out there? How about this, to make it easy? Who do you think starts against Florida State? All right, from the shows that you watch, from the websites that you subscribe to, from things you read out there. Who do you think starts against Florida State? Go ahead and punch it inside the comment box. Yes, they'll have another scrimmage here coming up shortly, and I'll give you the details this week on when that is. I'm going with Ty. Usually, sometimes, if I don't know, I won't necessarily make a decision, but I'm going with Ty, 1,000,000%. It would be the craziest storyline in college football would be Austin Mack comes to start against Florida State. That would break the internet, right? And I'm not saying he's not capable. It's just that's not going to be the situation. Yeah, there's Patriot Life inside. I knew Patriot Life would be here somewhere. Patriot Life, he's got the jersey from Athletes Thread. He's rocking. He wanted Ty Simpson. He's always been a Ty Simpson guy. He's rocking with Ty Simpson. So quarterback decision likely coming after that second scrimmage, which is perfect. And coach, kind of the main quote at the bottom is no picks today, a few touchdown passes. And I heard, and I'm just like you guys, I heard that Isaiah Horton made a ridiculous catch, and I heard that Cole Adams, We need to be talking about Cole Adams more. Did anyone else hear that on Cole Adams? I think even Coach Kalen DeBoer, and we'll listen to Kalen DeBoer's press conference more on Monday. But Cole Adams, he's turning heads. Kevin, what's up, man? Good to see you inside the comment box. Kimberly, Byron, what's up, man? Jason, Rock Righteous, what's up? Good to see you guys. Chance, what's going on, man? Happy Sunday. Miss Kimberly, good to see you. Patrick Spencer, what's up, man? Yeah, man, Cole Adams, man. I mean, I don't have a specific slide for him. But, I heard he was balling out yesterday. All right, here's my scrimmage MVPs kind of leading into it, all right? And I have some more, nuggets that we'll go over in just a second. But starting on the left, you got Ty Simpson. Heard that he made a play yesterday kind of on the run that was really impressive. I think it was a touchdown pass. And I'm not surprised to hear that because sometimes there's a lot of people that don't understand the athleticism that Ty has. But if you go back through Ty's career, even from the spring games and, the chances that we've saw him probably – that Kentucky game, the Wisconsin game, the South Florida game, he showcased the athleticism that he has. He can make plays in the backfield, right? There's more than just that play that he made against Mercer. He's made some really good plays, some long runs in the spring game, like 45-yard runs before we went to a practice spring game. The spring game not being the thing it just sucks. I didn't like that, whatever we did in April. That was weird. Like the practice. Rex from Vegas, dog. What's up, man? We love our 702 people. All right, so Ty Simpson gets a game ball. MVP yesterday. Definitely did his thing. Stock continues to be on the rise for the redshirt junior at the quarterback position. I go tell, Florida State fans, understand who's coming to start. At Doak Campbell Stadium, it'll be Ty Simpson. You got Jam Miller. Look, it was kind of foreshadowing this Saturday's scrimmage when Ryan Grubb spoke to the media before the scrimmage. And he said, remember, we went over this. He said, Jam is the man. 100%. Like, that's what I've seen from the running back room. And you also have other guys that are stepping up. Jam Miller yesterday had an incredible performance from what I'm told. Coach Kalen DeBoer went on in his press conference to say that that's the best that he's ever seen Jam Miller. Look, you guys know, I'm not going to make you do a thumbs up on this, but I have been talking about Jam Miller for a long time. It's coming. It is loading, all right? I didn't hear too much about Richard Young yesterday, but I did hear about Daniel Hill at running back. And I think someone said, I think Daniel Hill is like 250. I don't know if he's 260, but damn. That's a big man. So I think you have your three running backs, right? Jam, Richard, Daniel. Those are going to be the guys in that rotational process. And I didn't hear anything about Draylon Washington, but I'd imagine, somehow, depending on situational football, he's probably used. Cole Adams gets a game ball yesterday. Heard he made a play that was absolutely, like, people were talking about and still talking about today, right? The wide receiver room is so deep. It is crazy. We have heard this fall about Jalen Mbakwe coming up. We've heard about the comeback story of Jalen Hell. We've heard about the comeback story. We've heard about Rico Scott running 23.5 miles an hour. We have heard about Cole Adams now turning heads, right? Those are the guys underneath the main three guys. You literally have like nine guys at the wide receiver position that are just dogs. That's how it is. And the crazy thing is, this is what's crazy about the wide receiver position. I don't have a list in front of me. Remember all those wide receivers that transferred out? There was a lot of wide receivers that left. Let me ask you this. Yes or no? You can be honest. This is a grown man game. This is the pros. These kids aren't just going to school to get an education. All these guys have more money than you, period. So you could talk about them as pros. Same goes for every other team, right? Do you miss Kendrick Law? Yes or no? What the hell would you do with Kendrick Law? How would you even put him on the field? I love Kobe Prentice. Loved him. You miss him? There's so many guys that transferred from the receiver position, man. I don't even think about them. The wide receiver room is so deep, it is crazy. Really good update regarding Cole Adams. Just more depth. And I think Lazier Brooks is still coming back from whatever type of injury that he had. Not too worried about it. Coach Caitlin DeBoer said it's nothing long-term. That's fine. Avery Hampton doing his thing as well. Right? So you kind of think back to those guys. You're like, damn, they were good. We liked them because they were here, but don't even remember them. And how the hell would they get even catches this year? Caleb Odom, you miss him? No. It's wild, man. Grass isn't greener. Plus, I mean, Bama's always, you bounce out, Bama's going to reload. Plain and simple. Bray Hubbard, heard he made some plays yesterday. I don't know if there was no interceptions or anything like that, but people talking about Bray Hubbard, of course. And this is going to be a common thing as we continue to go week by week. I'm still looking on kind of detail on Zay Mincy. I'm curious about Zay Mincy. I think he's very good. Secondary player. And I think you're going to hear his name during this season, 100%. I was talking about Caleb Odom, not Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs was, he's a dog. Like that. He's the most impactful transfer that left. Everyone else has been replaceable. Caleb Downs is that guy. He's a baller. Keon Keeley, yo, look, you got LT Overton and Keon Keeley. What we heard, this guy is a menace. It seems like he's coming along, and I don't know, stock up right here. If you can buy any stock right here in Keon Keeley, do it. I don't know if he's going to be a starter or anything like that, but I was talking with somebody yesterday about this. The two deep for Alabama is on defense is so good. It's so full. And if you're going to play 16, 17 games or whatever it is this coming year to really make a run at the championship, you don't think that during that whole time guys aren't going to get injured? You think the starters are going to start the entire season? No. You're going to have things that happen. It's a grown man sport. It's not two-hand touch. You're going to need guys to rise up. If they're on the 3 deep, the 2 deep, whatever it is. Coach Caitlin DeBoer yesterday kind of hit on the good. He said offense did really well early. Defense kind of came along late. Jam Miller said his, best scrimmage that he's had. Daniel Hill, physical, versatile. I don't know. Do we have a real, does anybody out there, I will try my hardest, the people that I talk to behind the scenes, does anybody have a real weight on this guy? Daniel Hill. I think he might be listed on Roll Tide at like 245. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But I think he might be like close to 255. Daniel Hill, let's see. Roll Tide. Let me just see if I can do this real quick. Okay, on Roll Tide, they have him at 241. On ESPN, they have him at 245. I heard that he weighs more than that. And all the running backs, as I spoke about, can catch the football. That's got to be a prerequisite in college football, of course. You imagine Daniel Hill. Just envision this, okay, in our minds. Let's say it's a swing pass. Let's say it's something over the middle, and you dump it off, and Daniel Hill has a little bit of momentum, and he catches it in stride. Can you imagine trying to take down a man like that? Talking about building depth at wide receiver, defensive back, O-line, and linebacker. I think the most important part clearly is the offensive line. Depth, you have so much depth at wide receiver. It's crazy. Secondary, not worried about it. Offensive line, a little bit cause for concern. And I'm just nitpicking. And linebacker, I think you're fine as well. Pass rush, didn't really hear too much about that. Said something about lane discipline. And like I said, Jam Miller certainly on the rise again. The defense, as I spoke about, Bray Hubbard, going to be that guy. Keon Keeley, Nikhai Hill-Green. We've talked about him. Nikhai Hill-Green By the way, this is Yanzi Pierre picture of Yanzi Pierre. Nikhil Green's been somebody that people keep talking about, the inside linebacker position. I would imagine if Deontay Lawson is not 100% by this game against Florida State, that your two inside linebacker starters will be Nikhil Green and will be Justin Jefferson. I don't know if Deontay Lawson starts against Florida State. I think we're probably close to that timeline, but there's no need to rush it. I think the at least in my mind, well, why rush somebody that talented to get back? Have him 100% by Georgia, because if he's not 100% right now, there's no need to rush somebody like Deontay Lawson. You already got two other guys that are capable of being the starters anyways, Justin Jefferson and Nikhil Green. Plus, your two deep is fine. Throw in Caden Jones, Quinn Reese, I'm sure he's there. So don't rush Deontay Lawson. Luke Metz, talking about one of those guys, heard some really good things about him. Look, Abdul Sanders had a killer spring. He got here, right? You got Luke Metz and you got Daryl Duke Johnson. All those guys are freshmen. And let's see. And like Coach said, defense had a good showing later. Let's see. Pam Mandel, 809, says, what's up, man? Good to see you. It said, DeBoer said at the start of the scrimmage the run defense was struggling. That's concerning. I have to go back and listen to it. I might have missed that. But if that's true, I don't want to hear about that. Because last year, teams felt comfortable running against Alabama. They did. You couldn't really pass against Alabama last year. There might have been, a couple times the young secondary got baptized or whatever, but those guys were young. Teams wanted to run up the middle of Alabama. They weren't scared to. That was part of their game plan. They did it. They had success doing it. Different teams did it in different ways. I'll go back and make note of that, and maybe that's something we'll dive into on tomorrow's show. Thanks for bringing it to my attention, though, man. Too comfortable, right? Right, Jarvis? They were comfortable. That was part of their game plan. That should never be part of the game plan when you play Alabama, is to run the football. Kyle, I am in there, the swimwear on the raffle. Alex, I think you mean, are you in the raffle? Yeah, I got you just a minute ago. I don't know about the swimwear. What does that mean, Alex? All right. So that's kind of where things stand at this point in time. We got the scrimmage MVPs, heard a little bit about the defense, and I think most notable is probably the quarterback updates, right? And I don't necessarily think that was anything that was earth shaking from the scrimmage. It kind of just sounded like, okay, this is where we're at. And kind of this is, where we're going forward into the second scrimmage. Is there anything else that you guys heard from the scrimmage yesterday that you want to bring to the board? I think clearly, a playmaker on the rise is any of the playmakers at wide receiver. My goodness, that room is crazy. And again, if you want to get into the raffle leading up into this week, it's $10. It's a football jersey for Alabama from Athletes Thread. Retail price $109, $10 to get in. 3 opportunities that you can get in: Bama_YouTube or Cash App Bama YouTube. Anything else? Any concerns? Any questions that you have going into week 2? We're only 20 days away from the college football season. Chazon Bailey says gap integrity, have to prevent a mobile quarterback from eating our defense alive. Yes, and I know the guy's been talking for a long time, but man, this Tommy Castellanos paired up with Gus Malzahn, I get it. Look, I want to be optimistic about that game. I also have to be a realist in talking about things how I see them, things that are real. We can't just pretend that Alabama's already won this game. You can't. You can't pretend that Alabama already beat Florida State. Sure, the mindset is that Alabama goes over there and wins 42-0. Dude, Florida State added a lot of components. So Gus Malzahn, he beat Saban. He's he's kind of a wizard with a quarterback that could run, okay? And that's just it. Kane Womack understands what's coming, but that's the reality of it. And I get it. The guy's, he looks silly. I saw him dancing. You know, I see him talking. And that's got to stop, man, because people have been talking about Alabama. Diego Pavia was kind of the first one that started it, man. And he not only talked, he backed it up. He said that they went into the mindset knowing that they were going to beat Alabama. A lot of this is mindset too, man, because a lot of time I have never, ever, ever covered Alabama football when other teams thought that they could beat Alabama before the game took place. South Carolina, they thought it, right? They almost did it. Vanderbilt, they thought it. Brent Venables, following the season, they need to make a compilation video of everybody talking, you know what, about Alabama before the games and play that in the locker room, because Brent Venables said that we took Alabama to the woodshed. Florida State's talking, and Tommy Castellanos is like, look, I stand on what I said. We stand on what we said. We stand on what I said. So it's time to change all that, man, because that doesn't fly. And that's never been the standard, and nothing I have ever covered when following Alabama football. So those are the updates from today. You know, if other stuff trickles in, you know, we'll reboot it for Monday. We'll have our Monday show. We'll kick it off. We are getting closer to today's 20 days out from the first game of the season, 19 days tomorrow, 18. We are getting closer and closer, probably like a 37-yard field goal away from the football season. Now it's time to dial in and to lock up, all right? So good opening scrimmage. Look, sometimes if there wasn't like anything like ultra meaningful that happened at the scrimmage, that's fine. It's called like being like status quo, which is good. Having that mindset and just executing every single day is what we want and what we expect from this team. I appreciate you guys being here on my show today. I hope that you guys make some time for your family. If you guys went to church, pray for us. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your family. Be grateful for the blessings that have been bestowed upon you in this great life. You get one trip around, all right? Make it a good one. Take care of yourself. Be present. Be in this great day, all right? I love you. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. If you want to get into the raffle, there's still time to do that. And, you know, we'll kick it with you guys as news comes in. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on this special Sunday, August 10th show. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Signing off until next show. All right. See you, fam. Oh, you guys thought that the commercial was coming. All right, man. I love you guys. See ya. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Kyle Henderson.